Hey, happy Tuesday there, sixth graders. So I'm talking to cohort A today, while cohort B is currently sitting in a Zoom with me. So today, December 1st, we made it. We made it to December, people. Again, another day down, another day towards hopefully a more normal future. So hang in there. Today, we're going to do a little review of alliteration. We're going to do some more figurative language. And today, we are going to do personification, which is actually one of my favorites. I think it's really powerful to write with personification. Okay, so got to keep reminding all of you. I know some of you are having some trouble with turning this in, but the write like an author assignment, here's the thing. You got to problem solve. Okay, so let's say you're having trouble turning it in. First of all, I wonder if some of you don't know how. You use the same document. It should allow you to turn it in if you're signed in. If not, then you can always send me the link, right? That's another thing to remember. Send me the link to your document, and we've achieved the same thing. So I would write an email that said, Mr. Slavy, here is my assignment. That counts, okay? Now, let's also review yesterday. I gave you this document, the eye shampoo notes, right? Again, keeping your notes short, but also having one document that has everything that you need. It's like your go-to. Normally, we take notes, I guess you could say, you take notes, on your notebook. This is a little bit more straightforward so that you have a go-to like visual. Here is your one page with all the information you need. We did simile, which is comparing two unlike things using like or as. I use an example. The faucet leaked like a teary viewer of a sad movie. I gave you that one. Alliteration was yesterday. The repetition of the same sound at the beginning of two or more words in a phrase. So Mr. Slaby is a terrible tyrant teacher who tortures teens. I loved reading some of your examples yesterday. And metaphor, comparing two unlike things by not using like or as. So the faucet is a teary viewer of a sad movie. It is, not it's like. It is. So that metaphor is a direct comparison. So yesterday, that was that was our alliteration, and then we did similes and metaphors. What I'd like to do is I want you to think about this with figurative language. Think about what is going on here. So here's my examples. A little Hmong child mistakenly bit into the rotten apple, a fruit full of resentment and bitterness for having been picked. As Caesar walked on the freshly mowed grass, the green blade slashed and stabbed at his feet with murderous intent. The floor of the ancient house cried out in creaks and groans under the weight of the family. What's going on in all of these? What's going on is personification. It's when we take words and phrases giving non-living or non-human things very human characteristics, right? Humans possess the ability to have complex thought. We have a special physical structure in our mouth where over 1,000 movements of our tongue produce complex verbal language. We're the only animal on planet Earth that can do that. In fact, our structure of our whole system here, mouth, tongue, breathing, and like our esophagus is all designed through evolution to allow us to speak like I'm speaking to you right now. No other animal on Earth can do that, but we gave up some survival skills for that. So personification is about like giving those non-living things the same characteristics we have. Now you might say, well, why? So by the way, this is your definition, so this should go in this sheet right here. You might say, why? So ultimately, actually, here's a sneaky truth. A personification example is really a metaphor. It is. You're comparing something to human, right? Human's always the comparison, and it's non-human. And so it's really a metaphor, but really there's a larger reason why. Personification helps with mood. And here's why. Because when you use certain words that only work with humans, for instance, resentment and bitterness, right? That was my example up here, that the rotten fruit is resentful and it's bitter, like it's angry. That means I've created a mood of darkness or anger or frustration. There's something that's sort of tense there, right? Or the second example, as Caesar walked on the freshly mowed grass, the green blade slashed and stabbed. Slashed and stabbed by blades of grass That's a little ridiculous. So I've sort of set a mood of like, yeah, that hurts, right? Walking on grass hurts. And that, even though it's just grass, so slashed and stabbed means I'm in sort of a ridiculous, it might be serious, like it's dark, but it's a ridiculous dark. And then lastly, the last one, it's a house, an ancient house, cries out and groans and creaks. I got a pretty serious tone here. I'm not in a comedy, right? I'm in something where, like, oh, it's a little, something's going on. Nothing cries out in agony, in groans and creaks, unless something's sort of not well. The other thing is that personification helps readers relate to other perspectives, right? So if you think about this up here, almost giving like a fruit up here, this rotten apple, we just toss it aside and blah, right? But it actually is a living thing, right? So we're giving a perspective. Same thing with grass. Like we actually murderize grass when we mow it, right? It's growing, we cut it. And this house, right? There's a house that's not living, but there's still a sense of like spirit to everything. So in some ways it helps us relate to other perspectives. It sounds super cool. I mean, this is great description, right? I'm giving almost each of these things a characterization. And lastly, it requires vocabulary again. You have to have the vocabulary in order to do personification. That's why we read. We build our vocabulary. And those of you that haven't read, you're probably struggling with these words because you don't have it yet. Well, you got to build it, okay? So here's a couple examples. Personification. Ultimately, level 1 personification is just basically using a verb. So like the flower danced in the angry wind. Danced is a thing that we do as humans. We dance, right? That's a ballerina. That is a, that's a dancer. Animals dance, but they don't do it on purpose. They don't like listen to music and like, oh, I mean, we have memes of cats doing that, but that's not the same thing. So danced is usually how you get your right comparison. And angry is a word. Wind isn't angry. Wind doesn't care, but we've attached that word. So verbs, danced, and adjectives, the describing words. Let's go into a little more complex angle here. All right. The flower danced and pranced, curtsied and pirouetted. All right. Again, these are just not dancing, but these are all verbs that are associated with moves in modern or even classical dance. And the music of the wind, right? So the music of the wind is making music. Only an orchestra can do that. No other animal like literally plays music for enjoyment, but I've decided the wind does it. All right, I'm going to go even next level. So that was level 1, was just a verb and an adjective. Level 2 is a lot of verbs and a more complex, this is actually a noun. So saying wind is a music, it's like pieces coming together. I'm going to go level 3. The sensitive, gentle flower performed her ballet to the symphony of the wind. So now I'm not just doing verbs, I'm doing adjectives that are like very human. I mean, a flower doesn't care about emotions, right? It doesn't really, it's gentle just by nature. It doesn't want to be gentle, it just is. But I'm giving it characteristics that are very human and they're subtle. And look at this, I've even given it a pronoun. Now the flower is a gender. A pronoun indicates like a specific gender and a personality. And then symphony of the wind, not just music, but now I'm saying the wind is a bunch of different musical instruments coming together. So that's kind of like what I would like you to consider today. Again, we should be adding to our eye shampoo. So we should be having our personification filled out and our example. And then here's what I want you to do for today. Okay. So just like yesterday, and I read, no, what did I read? I'm missing 9 assignments from you 25 of you. We got to be better than that. All right. So I'd like to see more. But the ones that I did get, here's what I have for you. It's almost the same thing as yesterday. I want you to take these same phrases, just like yesterday there was 7, today there are 7, and we'll do one together. I want you to turn them into more interesting phrases with human qualities through personification, okay? Really want to stress that. All right, so take this. That is a comfortable couch. The wind blew the tree back and forth. The thunderstorm was loud. COVID-19 is a dangerous virus. The ELA assignment was blank. Poverty is the worst. Valley Middle is a good school. Okay, these are all statements that I want you to find some way to put personification is, which means taking the couch, the wind, the thunderstorm, the virus, the assignment, poverty, and Valley Middle. These are things you're going to turn into human somehow. So here's how I would do this as an example. So let's do this one together. All right, that is a comfortable couch. That's fine, right? How do I turn that into a human-like thing? The couch sort of wraps me. I sit in it and it's comfortable. Ah, that's like a hug. Hugs are active. Humans hug, right? Okay, so this is what I'm going to write. That couch embraces me as I sink into it in a warm, loving, motherly hug. So now I've made that couch like a mom. All right, that's good enough. That would be a solid personification example. But again, let's go next level. That warm, loving couch. So now the couch has a personality, embraces me as I sink into it in a motherly hug. It's care and concern. So the couch cares about me, wrapping around my legs and arms, protecting me from the world's danger. So literally, it's like this couch is like protecting me like a mom would. So notice what I've just done. I have created a mood. This is a loving mood, right? That's what I've done. So that's what your work is for today. All right. So at that point, I'm going to go to our ELA. Oop, I'm going to go to the right one. Okay, there we are. So today's work, just like yesterday's, is I would like you. There we go. Come on. There we go. December. That's December 2nd. Sorry, December 1st. Your job is to work through this. So you're watching this video right now. Open up if you haven't, open up this document, or you should have it in Notability at this point. Here's a link to the presentation that you could get the notes from. And then I want you to practice with these examples. Now, these are the ones I want you to work with. Change these into a personified statement. And then when you're done, I want you to submit this assignment. You can take a picture of your notebook, or you can write in the assignment. And then again, let's look at that missing work. Some of you have some. This is your basic criteria for today's work, and I'll give you some feedback. Okay, hope you're all well. Look forward to seeing your creativity and your personification, and I'll see you Thursday, Friday. All right, bye.